This is a presentation of the Badlands Media Network. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is June 5th, 2023, and this is episode 101 of the Rattlegator Report. I am using my new laptop, and I'm in a good mood this morning because I like my laptop. I think it works better, and I'm hoping everything goes smoothly. I haven't detailed everything out this morning because I'm writing. I have a Substack article that I'm trying to complete. Fact of the matter is, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't be doing this show. I'd be writing, trying to complete the damn Substack. But I like it, and I think it's going to be important. And I think I said to you before, I thought my Schedule F Imperative parts 1 and 2 were probably my best. I think this is going to be my best, but I'm biased. And so it won't be directly a response to the great Joe Lang, who I love, and was kind of sort of surprised to read his Substack and find myself, I don't think so, Joe. Good material in there, but the conclusion on the CBDC, Joe, what we doing, bro? What we doing? Yeah, I'm not down with that. But we need opinions, and Joe's got some good opinions, and so it could be that I turn out to be quite surprised, and he turns out to be quite right. But good morning to everybody. Eurythmic, thank you so much for being consistently rolling with me. I do appreciate that. Yes, Governor DeSantis is doing one hell of a job, in my estimation. I don't give a damn what anybody says. He's doing a hell of a job. And hey, we'll have to wait and see. But I like what I see. I like that people seem to be drawn to him, a certain group of folks, and not bad folks. I mean, yes, there are some perpetrators out there, but there are a bunch of I think I would call them former Democrats or weary Democrats, and they are flocking to him. So to me, that's a good thing, because within them are those deep state uniparty globalists. And they are really trying to pump these folks up who still don't quite understand what the hell is happening in the game that is continuing to be played. That's my opinion. And so, again, I just look back. I'm still getting used to this Twitter account, and then being able to track and follow the Twitter feed, because I follow a bunch of people on that account. I have a bunch of followers on that account. So people regularly are tossing out information, and I enjoy the interaction. I'm fortunate to have that kind of interaction. But yeah, it's more than a notion, especially when I'm at the end of a process that started, I guess, in October we started this thing some way, somehow, and so much has happened. And I just think, wow, yeah, I do need this break that's upcoming. It's not this week, it's next weekend, the week of the 19th. But yeah, I feel really vibrant, because when I'm writing and I feel like I've got a good subject and the logic flows, but it's also unique and nobody's really going in this direction and laying it out in this way. Yeah, that's a good thing in my mind. And so I'm going to have to work really hard. I got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm going to try and work really hard to get this thing done and submitted to Burning Bright and the crew to see if they sign off on this, and then how quickly can we get it published. I got to drive to Tampa tomorrow. I have a nephew involved with some estate craziness in Florida and Texas, and human beings being human beings. Good morning, net folks. Good morning, Mrs. A. Whaley. Good morning, PBJ. See Patriot. Everybody. Thank you on the congratulations on 101 episodes. But when you're doing a show practically every damn day of the business week, you get there pretty quickly. So I've purchased a lighting kit suggested to me by a quite talented cousin. And we'll see how that goes. Cigar City, I'm going to be in your town tomorrow. We might need to have a quick conversation. Mitchie Me, thank you. I hope the no sugar thing is going to work out. I've already told you I'm not going to be able to do no sugar. I'm going to try and drastically reduce the sugar. But yeah, I am intent on trying to have a good, constructive month in terms of my health. I have to do more exercising, and I've set stuff up so that I can do that. Diet is going to be important, supplements, and then we'll just see where the chips fall. But I still got to do my coffee for now. I had said no coffee. I'm going to have to ease into that. Ascent Nutrition sent some coffee, and I may try that out during this month and see how that goes. These young people, all this chaga, mushroom, all this, we'll see. I'm going to try. I want to, I saw this article late. I think I'm going to read it because we need to definitely be aware of this kind of stuff. And I think it is purposely not being publicly discussed. So let me see if I can find it. Yes, there we go. And let me see if I can present it and begin the read. It's at a website I say often that I love and used to submit columns to. They have very good material. We have a range of sources these days that we can rely upon to have some information. You decide for yourself whether they're barking up the tree you prefer, but they've got good material. And this is, I think, a particularly good article referred by an old friend at the Just 1 Minute community I used to participate in quite often, Clarice Feldman, Washington, D.C. attorney. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is good old Letitia. Good gracious alive. What in the hell? But here's the thing, John Klein, institutional terror in woke America, right? This is the focus. What state harassment and institutional terror in woke America looks like. Conservatives cannot afford to stay cowed any longer. The VDARE case shows why, and I agree. These people have gotten out of hand, and we have to back them the hell up forcefully, and we have to meet fire with fire. We got to start doing some lawsuits or something that goes after these people big time. But here's especially for those of you on the podcast, here's how the article begins. A federal court ruling likely to drop this month should provide a good indication as to whether America still has a fully functioning first world justice system. The case, involving an investigation from New York Attorney General Letitia James into the supposed mismanagement of controversial news outlet VDare.com, has received zero media coverage so far, despite it being as crude, brutish, and nakedly political as James's other lawfare campaigns, notably against former President Trump and the NRA. In fact, it's arguably worse, as it was clearly designed to dox VDare's writers and volunteers and bankrupt the tiny outlet out of existence. In a recent column about James's investigation, VDare founder and editor Peter Brimelow recounts with frustration the increasing difficulty his outlet has had in spreading its advocacy of immigration patriotism over the years. This includes being blocked by social media and payment processors, potential advertisers being subjected to Anti-Defamation League style intimidation campaigns, and even lawyers and accountants being unwilling to help the group publicly. Its very ability to exist online was threatened a few years back when a Black supremacist lawyer, now leading the Justice Department's Civil Rights section, tried to pressure its registrar into delisting its domain. This is government power on raw display. Considering Brimelow as a best-selling author, a reputable financial journalist going back decades, and, according to him, someone who has not changed his views on immigration, diversity, and racial issues generally since he was writing about them in National Review years back, the increasing prejudice and character attacks do draw sympathy as well as a considerable amount of head scratching. Post-Trump, it's basically impossible for the group to host anything, as its forced conference cancellations can attest. More than a dozen, Brimelow says. In a 2017 case that should have created a national furor, a VDare conference scheduled in Colorado Springs was met with an announcement by City Mayor John Suthers that he would direct local police not to protect the venue in case Antifa or BLM protesters showed up. Considering this was quite literally an open invitation to cause violence, venue management understandably canceled the event. Even in light of all this, Brimelow says James's current attack is the most serious threat he and his wife and VDare partner Lydia have ever faced in the outlet's 24-year history. Among the claims James is investigating is that VDare's New York registered foundation has been dormant for some years. Says Brimelow, quote, "We were working through another foundation registered in a different state. This is why we made no further filings. They were not necessary." She also alleges the Brimelows are taking advantage of a conference center bought by their nonprofit. This is a historic house in West Virginia, by living in it rent-free, something that is palpably not true, they assert. James also claims VDare's board is solely overseen by Brimelow family members. Again, not true, they assert, but in any case, not abnormal. Oddly, she further impugns the fact that the Brimelows failed to specify in VDare filings that they are married. Finally, James asserts that the conference center was bought by the Brimelows Foundation, but then transferred to a for-profit corporation controlled by Peter's wife. But according to tax records available on VDare's site, it's not Lydia, but the foundation that actually controls it. As Peter Riley states in his column, for the record, every step of the conference center transaction was carefully monitored by expensive lawyers because we were well aware that we were susceptible to scrutiny by a malicious and unscrupulous, politically motivated regulator. Considering the investigator in question, the real motivation behind the charges certainly deserves strong skepticism. Having campaigned for her attorney general position by promising to go after Trump without even specifying on what basis, just like New York District Attorney Alvin Bragg, James has tainted everything she touches. Around 100,000 charities are registered in New York, and the number of open investigations being pursued by the Attorney General's Charity Bureau cannot be more than a few dozen. And again, Brimelow's operation deals primarily with West Virginia and effectively has had no ties to New York for some years. But even if dismissed by the courts as meritless, just by opening an investigation, James knows the cost to the organization will be destructive. Peter Brimelow says, in addition to severely limiting VDARE's normal operations, the compliance costs to the small two-employee outlet have so far topped $300,000. This mainly involves complying with James's mammoth subpoena, which encompasses close to 50 separate demands for internal documents, nearly all of them wildly improper, Brimelow explains. Among them is a perplexing order to produce deposition transcripts from his 2019 defamation lawsuit against the New York Times, something that appears to have zero relevance to James's role as a charity regulator. Then there is the aforementioned and highly disturbing demand that Brimelow hand over documents sufficient to identify the names and addresses of all of VDARE's past and present employees, volunteers, independent contractors, including the many pseudonymous writers VDARE publishes. Considering such information is clearly unnecessary to investigate Brimelow's own supposed misconduct, one can fairly conclude James's subpoena is simply designed to dox and intimidate and is steeped in political discrimination. James's office has leaked GOP donor information before. New York State and congressional Republicans, as well as privacy advocates generally, should be condemning her attacks in the strongest terms possible. Despite their good faith efforts to comply with James' bad faith subpoena, continued unyielding pressure from James's office has forced the Brimelows to file a federal lawsuit claiming, among other things, that the First Amendment rights of its past and present contractors, etc., are being violated. We should be getting the decision soon. In his column, Brimelow alleges James's office initially asked for an extension of the 3-week response time to their federal claim because an attorney working the case came down with COVID. But that was a ruse. No shit. According to Brimelow, the point of the extension was to allow James's team to stealthily file a state court petition in ultra-friendly Manhattan to force VDARE to comply with the subpoena's demands. These people have no shame. Filed on a special expedited basis, the petition was intended to secure a ruling on the subpoena before a decision could be rendered in Brimelow's federal claims, something which state courts usually await before issuing their own ruling. Unfortunately, earlier this year, that special and rarely awarded request was granted to James. Surprise, surprise. And with the unprecedented speed of a single business day after it was filed by Manhattan judge and Democrat Sabrina Kraus. Kraus gave James everything she wanted, basically. If Peter's claims are true, and James lied about her fellow attorney's COVID, this would be a striking level of professional malfeasance, even for her. Now, on top of seeking to enjoin James's subpoena entirely on First Amendment grounds, the Brimelows are mounting an ethics complaint against James and demanding her disbarment. This is what we must do with all of these punk-ass lawyers. American conservatives should send the Brimelows their support and wish them all the best in their David versus Goliath-esque battle. Not defending them against such a patent abuse of power is to display the same disregard for justice and fairness that James is guilty of. Brimelow's former employees at the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and yes, National Review have so far been silent about James's clear abuse of state power. That is outrageous. Oh, man. And after all, no conservative advocacy group will be unaffected should VDARE get taken down. The Southern Poverty Law Center labels VDARE as a designated hate group, but it did not always. It took years of conservatives looking the other way for Democratic Party attack dogs like the SPLC to shift its defamation campaign from cartoonish KKK types to immigration reform groups like VDARE, until finally they came for Christian and other conservative groups as well. That shift will happen with Democrat-run apparatuses of state and private power too, if it has not already. As evangelists, Franklin Graham recently warned after the Family Research Council was debanked by, quote, junior staffers before being reinstated by the bank's president, quote, listen, those junior people, guess what? Are going to be in the next 5 or 10 years the senior people, unquote. For American justice, as opposed to their justice, to prevail, conservatives cannot afford to stay cowed any longer. I just read that quickly this morning. It's like, okay, I gotta put this out. I have to put this out. It's indicative of them taking advantage of our side and our, we just don't want to think they are that freaking devious, but they are. We just don't want to think the infiltration from within is that freaking extensive, but it is. And then, we throw out a label because they've earned it, Conservative Incorporated. And you say they're not what? They're not defending this couple? What the hell? Oh man. Oh man. It's infuriating. It's infuriating. I am reacquainting myself with people I follow on Twitter. One guy from Britain, James Delingpole, y'all may know him. He had written a beautiful column over there, and I complimented him on the column, and he responded back, Conservative Incorporated is not our friend. And he's right. Friend, unfortunately. So I have to go see, okay, what are my ads? I think the network thought I was taking this week off instead of next week and the week after. But I do have, oh Lord, ads, but I think I forgot to upload. What did she send me here? Wow. Yeah, y'all are going to have to give me a minute to load this ad. In fact, I need to. I'm so focused on that Substack, and I'm so happy with the damn laptop that I forgot to do some basic housekeeping this morning. So you get what you get. I'm sorry. I am sorry it's like that, but it is. And I need to try and load this. And then, hey, great podcast material right now, but I got to try and figure out if I can load this. I may just have to do the ads without all of that stuff, but I'm going to try and add these overlays and mumble a little bit as I'm working through this, and I'll go and check the chat. I hope that that article outrages you as much as it outrages me. I just, and I mean, it outrages me. It pisses me the hell off. It makes me want to crack some skulls. But I have to think about what the hell I'm trying to do now, or give the hell up and just do the ad. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's just do the ad, and we'll get right tomorrow. We will get right tomorrow. Now I got to remember. I'm laughing at myself, and I'm hoping y'all are laughing at me as well. This is the Badlands Marketplace, is what I'm trying to get to. I don't remember. But because it's a new laptop, I don't have it memorized in the system. I'll make this something wrong. So now I'm going to have to rely on Google. I am intent on getting to this damn marketplace. There we go. Why didn't that work? That's exactly what I did. Anyway, old man struggling, not surprising. Share screen. There we go. All right. I did all of that work, ladies and gentlemen, because it is important for us to focus on this Badlands marketplace that we have, right? Marketplace.badlandsmedia.tv is where you will find our marketplace. And especially after reading that article and that column in American Greatness on the lack of spine from Conservative Inc. in support of VDARE. VDARE is I read it, and they can put out some stuff. Whoa, that's some strong opinion there. And, but that should be championed, these strong opinions that they have, even if you sometimes disagree. And certainly I do sometimes disagree with what they put out. But I find myself more often than not agreeing and saying, damn, I didn't know that. I didn't think of it in that way. It's a very valuable site. If you have not checked them out, I ask you to do so. But the Badlands Marketplace is also valuable, and I invite you to check them out because we are trying to work hand in hand with our president, President Trump, in building a parallel economy. And this is one way in which we do it. We invite businesses in. We try to support them as they try to support us. Marketplace.badlandsmedia.tv. Check the site out. Check the businesses out. Support them when and where you can. All right. Next up, let me stop sharing this screen. And I'm just going to play because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I'm just going to play the My Pillow ad if I can find it. I think this is going to be wrong. This is going to be wrong. Let me not play it.
Welcome to the MyPillow 2.0 commercial. The MyPillow 2.0, the most amazing pillow in history. That new technology, you still have the MyPillow's patented fill, but now we have new technology we didn't have back when I invented MyPillow that's going to help you sleep. It's absolutely amazing, and you're the first ones that can check it out. Go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code on your screen, and we brought back the buy one, get one free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Okay, that kind of screwed up, and it's not the ad that I really wanted, but y'all know MyPillow. And they've been canceled by lots of retailers. So Mike Lindell's changed his business strategy. Instead of selling his products through woke corporations, he's partnered with freedom-loving sites like Badlands Media, and he's passing the savings right to you. It's got a summer sale, 80% off. MyPillow has hundreds of products available for Badlanders right now. Shift your dollars to the parallel economy and shop MyPillow now and get up to 80% off using the promo code Badlands. Just go to mypillow.com, promo code Badlands. Okay. Ah, man, I have... I ran through a few other pieces, and I don't want to overwhelm you with my particular biases. But of course, you come to this show, you get some of my biases, and that flavor is natural and unavoidable. And let me see if I can decide which one of these blatantly biased opinions I want to share with you. Yeah, I want to share, and I know some people are just gonna, I want to share about a 6-minute video. It's about Russia and Ukraine. And it's about my desire that we increase our healthy skepticism. And you can only do that. It's almost like reading VDare, and it's like, okay, I know I'm not going to agree with some of the stuff they have there. That's irrelevant. It's an interesting, valuable site. They put in work. They're not just pulling shit out of their ass. And when it comes to the Russia and Ukraine conflict, I feel the same way when I sense an opinion that's holding sway over some in our network, which is, in my estimation, pro-Russia. I just can't roll with that. And especially when I know the colonizing history of that country, and I sense that nobody supporting them in this way is really paying any attention to their colonizing history. But yeah, so I'm going to play this video. It's from a site that is doing a day-by-day wrap-up. And if you were of the opinion that the Russians had some tremendous success in Bakhmut, which they didn't, it would have been valuable to have been following this site. If you think my statement in the Schedule F imperative, parts 1 and 2, about a back at you bitches approach from Team Trump is not applicable in Ukraine, it would have been valuable to have been following this site, because if you're paying attention, you are recognizing a back at you bitches approach. And that back at you bitches approach is that you sapsuckers have serious weaknesses that you don't realize you have. And we're going to present you with a choice, bitch. You stay in Ukraine or you guard your freaking border. You're not going to be able to do both. That is my opinion on what is being presented to these people right now in a back at you bitches kind of way. Humor me and watch this video. Okay, let me see if I can do the presentation and select the right one. Man, this is going to be more difficult than I realized. Where is that video? Oh, there we go. All right.
Day 466. Today there is a lot of good news. In the Belgorod region, after seeing that Russian forces were simply incapable of holding off even small assault groups, the Freedom of Russia Legion and Russian Volunteer Corps decided to rapidly increase the scale of their operations. The insurgent forces opened 7 more lines of attack and managed to secure at least 4 settlements, namely Sontsevo, Sereda, Marana, and Leninsky, while the fights are taking place in 9 more settlements, including Zibrovka, Shebekina, and Voznesenovka. Combat footage confirms the ongoing operations in multiple settlements. Russian officials were forced to admit that the issue was not resolved and started a massive evacuation. At the moment, Russian forces lost control over 200 square kilometers of the Belgorod region. The crisis continued to escalate, and more sources start to consider Belgorod as a new front line. The scale of the operation also implies that the losses increase, which is why the commander of the Russian Volunteer Corps asked the head of the Belgorod region to swap prisoners of war. The head of the Belgorod region declined the offer, called them terrorists, and said that he doubted that Russian soldiers were alive anyways. The head of the Wagner Group, Prigozhin, immediately responded by viciously criticizing the decision to basically abandon Russian soldiers, and said that it costs nothing to organize a regular prisoner exchange that happens all the time anyways. Simultaneously, it was revealed that the Russian Ministry of Defense tried to ambush and kill the withdrawing Wagner forces from Bakhmut. Prigozhin said that his troops noticed a strange activity in the rear, and when they checked the roads, it turned out that someone completely mined them, as if planning to take out the whole convoy. Prigozhin said that they demined the area, but when withdrawing, they were hit with artillery fire that was probably supposed to take out the survivors after the mines detonated. The Wagner forces conducted an internal raid and took captive the artillery crew that fired at them. Later, they showed a video with the commander of the Russian 72nd Brigade that confessed that a group of 12 people under his command fired at Wagner forces. Prigozhin saw an opportunity in all the situations and basically said that for security reasons, he would not report when and where his forces deploy, and that all operations would be conducted at his discretion, bypassing the Russian Ministry of Defense. Prigozhin immediately took action and started redeploying certain elements of his forces to the Belgorod region, claiming that if the Russian ministry could not do its job and protect the Russian people, then he would do it himself. The head of the Chechen Republic, Ramzan Kadyrov, recognized this opportunity as well and also said that he could help. In the meantime, Russian forces started losing Bakhmut. The moment the Wagner Group withdrew from the city and the DPR units became solely responsible for Bakhmut, Ukrainians entered the southwestern part of the city. If you still remember, before withdrawing, Ukrainians made a very prudent decision by blowing up several high-rise buildings exactly in this area. Later, Ukrainian Air Force conducted an airstrike and completely demolished the rest of the buildings that could be used by Russians to protect the southern part of the city. Today, a commander from the Wagner Group confirmed that Ukrainians entered the southern part of the city, which Wagner was previously holding. Russian analysts are extremely worried that Ukrainians will leverage these gains in order to conduct a pincer movement on Klishchiivka and breach the most formidable strongpoint without even storming it. Today, a fighter from the Aidar battalion reported that they're exacerbating the situation by blocking the rotation process with artillery fire. And based on the intercepted radio exchanges, Russians in Klishchiivka may soon abandon their positions from lack of food and sheer exhaustion. However, the biggest news by far comes from the south. Here, Ukrainians launched a series of mechanized assaults. During the first stage of the offensive operation, Ukrainians opened two lines of attack, toward Novodarievka and Neskuchne. Russian sources reported that Ukrainians used up to 2 motorized rifle companies with several T-72 tanks. As a result, Russian defense was breached and Russian troops retreated. Shortly, Ukrainians launched the second stage of the offensive operation and opened 4 lines of attack toward Levadne, Priyutne, Storozheve, and Rivnopil. Ukrainians once again decided to use small, company-sized units for each of the attacks. When it comes to the first 2 attacks, Ukrainians managed to get 3 kilometers deep into the region, but ran into mines and decided to retreat. In Storozheve, Russian forces received reinforcements, which they could quickly and easily do because there are a lot of settlements around it. So after a short engagement, Ukrainian forces retreated. Lastly, when it comes to Rivnopil, here Ukrainians got into a trap and faced overwhelming artillery fire. As a result, Ukrainians lost 1 tank and 9 cars. Overall, Ukrainians managed to advance by 2 and in some places by 5 kilometers in 1 day and secure 2 settlements. Right now, Ukrainians need to demine approaches to the next settlements on the line and suppress Russian artillery around Rivnopil. So far, this was just a reconnaissance in force operation, as the assault units were very light. Ukrainians also did not use seasoned assault units and heavy Western equipment, and they still managed to slice off multiple kilometers in 1 go. If you're against the invasion of Ukraine and you want to support the work that
All right. All right. Stop. I'm still trying to learn this laptop and how to make use of it. It's a Dell, in case you're wondering, Dell, what is it? XPS 13 something something. And it has no touchpad. It has a Gorilla Glass front where the touchpad would be and all these other different little things. So you just have to, in your brain, say, okay, here's where it would be. This is what it is. And I am. Okay. It works in my mind. It's fine. I so far love it. Very, very happy with the purchase. And let me join in the chat. Everybody, Letitia James, what? Working for the, no, Letitia is a problem. Letitia is a problem. Now, I see what you're saying about Just Human, and there are a number of things going in that direction. We have to be very careful, in my estimation. We can go too far sometimes with this white hat, black hat stuff. And some of the people we're relying upon may very well be doing a tactical strategic retreat and offering up information and saying this person is doing this and this person is doing that. And they're really, I would not rely on that. To me, it's the beauty of saying, hey, I got two people I give maximum DAP to, President Trump and General Flynn. There are others I give close to maximum DAP, Mike Pompeo, Ezra Cohen, people like that. But all of this stuff with these spy versus spy operations, people who have been infiltrated within the MAGA movement, I guarantee you there are some people within the Badlands Media Network who are not working for us. We are going to be surprised in many ways, positively and negatively, in any after action report that's getting written once President Trump is back in place, fully acknowledged back in place. That's my opinion. I just think we have to be really careful. There's craziness going on, real craziness. And it could be that one of the genius moves they've made is to have somebody out there faking the funk, perpetrating and acting as though they are woke and crazy in an effort to discover the networks. I acknowledge that. I ain't going to bank on it, but I acknowledge that. What is usually, again, I hadn't been added to the schedule for today. They thought I was taking the week off, and I had to say, hey, no. That's next. You had gone to the page earlier than this morning. Yeah, it wouldn't show me listed. You'd have to refresh. $480. Thank you so much. We do need some questioning of the conventional wisdom, even from really trusted people on our site. I came in and just heard bitch. I'm sorry. Listen, I lapse, and sometimes, again, I really do forget and think I'm having a little Zoom call with a friend or something. Like, yeah, and when I first started, I remember some woman, I don't know from where, but she was saying, hey, please don't cuss. Sounded like my mother. And I try not to, but man, these people. Yeah, I wouldn't listen, gang. I would not worry about the thumbs down, that kind of stuff. Irrelevant, Thumbs up, I'm good with that. Thumbs down, I don't care. Yeah, Mrs. Watley, you're good. I don't care about that. Yeah, Colonel McGregor and I, if I remember correctly, Cigar City, we're going to disagree. And that's fine. I don't give him any extra dap for being a colonel. Don't give a damn about that. Yeah. So, yeah, I was behind in the chat, and this is the thing, a 6-minute little. I wanted to watch the thing again, just in case I get some questions later on or whatever. It's not that I'm endorsing this person, it's that they are doing a day by day recap. And to me, that's valuable, even coming from a biased position. They obviously are part of the Ukrainian operation. Okay. And, but still, here's what's being claimed. You can kind of track it and you can kind of see. But you absolutely know for 100% certainty the Russians are not driving the train. If you understand how these forces have crossed into Russia, Russia has severe weaknesses that people just don't know how to acknowledge. Russia has never, ever been a superpower. We just have crazy conversations about Russia. They've never been a superpower. They had military super destructive weapons. That's different. And the genius of Donald Trump is that he recognized America's greatest power was not our military. It's our commercial power that all of the world envies. And if you look at Russia's commercial power, right? You put in these sanctions, you deny them these chips, you force them to do all kinds of stuff. And then you wind up having arguments with friends. I wind up having arguments with friends telling me Russia is rich. No, hell, they are not. Telling me Russia is super smart. No, hell, they are not. They have one of the dumbest military operations on the planet because there's no trust. And I played that video in part because I wanted you to see they can't deny this. Prigozhin is at odds with the Ministry of Defense. The Chechen fighters, do y'all not remember the Chechen war? These people don't want to be Russians. Those people who have come from Chechnya and are fighting for Russia right now, they're the minority in their own little federated state. Russia has severe issues because they are a colonizer with a colonizing mindset. It drives me crazy to hear people talking as if there's some one-to-one comparison between the United States and Russia. There isn't. They do some of the dumbest stuff possible, and they've done that in this war. And Prigozhin is sitting up there, and the Chechen boy is sitting up there, and they're all taking issue with the Ministry of Defense. It is crazy to watch Russia do what they do militarily. I'm just saying. And if you're ascribing some kind of brilliance or genius to them, you better back the hell up. There's a reason why they thought they were going to decapitate Kiev in 3 days and then 3 weeks. And we're well into year 2. Haven't done it, not going to do it. So anyway, let me get my second block of ads done. I think I've got, luckily, I think I've got videos to go with this. So let me get to it if I can find it.
Hello, Badlanders. Are you worried about spike proteins and how they may impact your health? Are you looking for help but don't know what to do? The Wellness Company has an answer in the form of their clean, pure, all-natural spike support formula developed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. The Wellness Company's spike support includes incredible nattokinase, dandelion root, black sativa extract, green tea, and Irish sea moss. Even better, the spike formula by the Wellness Company is vegan, gluten-free, and made right here in the United States. Buying American-made, naturalistic ingredients of this quality separately costs over $100. The Wellness Company's spike formula is only $65.99. Go to spikedefend.com to order spike support today and use promo code BADLANDS for 10% off. That's spikedefend.com and promo code BADLANDS for peace of mind if you are concerned about spike proteins.
Silicon Valley Bank debacle demonstrated just how fragile our banking system can be. We don't know what the future holds, but history has shown us that physical gold and silver are a reliable store of value to protect your wealth. Don't let fear of the unknown paralyze you. Take the first step towards securing your financial future. Reach out to Kirk and his team at kirkelliottphd.com/badlands. That's kirkelliottphd.com/badlands.
You know, I am wondering if y'all are hearing what I'm hearing. On these videos, there seems to be some kind of glitch, and it doesn't play smoothly audio-wise. The video seems to be fine, but audio, sometimes it gets bunched. Let me know, are y'all hearing that? Is it, or is it just in my system? I'm gonna have to figure that out. Like I said, it's a new laptop. I'm trying to, yeah, there are no damn Nazis in Ukraine. Stop that foolishness. The Azov Battalion is not a Nazi operation. That is Russian foolish propaganda that everyone should be embarrassed if you buy. There are no Nazis in Ukraine. Stop it. Anyway, okay, 5 minutes or so left to go. Yeah, I almost feel like in the chat, people are going to toss that out because they know it just bugs me and I should not get bugged by it. I mean, hey, you got the right to believe there are Nazis in Ukraine. I just think you also have the right to think through. You think Poland doesn't understand Nazis? You know what the hell the Nazis did to Poland? You know what the hell the Russians did to Poland? And the Polish are right there 100% with Ukraine. They know Nazis better than you. The Latvians know Nazis better than you. So do the Estonians, okay? So do the Lithuanians. Stop it. It's just ridiculous Russian propaganda. Only a colonizer could come up with. Hopefully you see you should not believe this colonizer. And just think what you want, but you should not. They are lying like they always have. Okay. I saw something on Nancy Pelosi. I'm not sure I want to use that. I saw a guy who, you know, one of the things we have to understand, maybe I'll show this because it's about the fakery, although the guy's making a joke of it. Let me see. Can I? I don't think I can make this big, but I want to show it to you anyway. This is it. Look at this Twitter. Look at this tweet, okay? So this guy, rare image of Donald Trump with Martin Luther King Jr. before the infamous riot of Selma, Alabama. This is a Trump appreciation thread. Share your favorite iconic moments of Donald Trump through history. Now, he's obviously joking because he knows damn well this is not a picture of Donald Trump with MLK before the Selma riots. Okay, but look, we live in a time where so much can be faked. And so he has to come out and say, look, if you haven't seen my last tweets and retweets, I'm well aware they are fake. it was just so funny to see liberals react to this nonsense. Okay, this is you have to have some humor, okay, going forward in this world. And part of the humor is just recognizing how much Donald Trump drives them freaking crazy. You can almost do anything with Donald Trump, even if you're engaged in fakery, and they're going to go apeshit. It's just, oh my God. I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. You watch it, you see it, you know damn well on immediate sight that is fakery. But man, did it trigger some left wingers. Okay. As we get ready to exit out, I want to thank y'all so much for coming and joining me. I want to see in here. Did y'all? Of course, he says, Eurythmic, of course, he says we need to stop killing on both sides. That is true. He also said that he could stop it in one day. Now, understand, Donald Trump does word warfare masterfully. He knows he is free to make that statement because it cannot be disproven right now. It cannot be. He is forcing dumbass Joe Biden to bear the responsibility of all of this stuff. I think, I may be wrong, but I think he's made a Trumpian move, Sun Tzu-like, and he's fooled everybody. He has baited the Russians into overextending themselves. He baited the Chinese into supporting the Russians. And then once that 3-day decapitation of Kyiv could not be accomplished and the Chinese started to do the backstroke, Trump was off in the corner just having a good laugh, I believe, because he knows damn well your ass is in trouble. Russia's not going to be able to do what they want to do. We're going to pump in dollars and equipment, and he's going to be free to sit off on the side and lament and bitch and moan and have all kinds of team members talk to regular American taxpayers about why the hell are they sending all that money to Ukraine when he knows damn well why we're sending that money to Ukraine. We're bringing some humility to Russia, much needed humility. We are damn sure not partnering with Russia. Okay? That's the Trumpian move to me. And it's unseen by so many. This is the brilliance. Willing to be wrong, but this is the brilliance of what they've pulled off. Notice, and I take my lead from this, notice when he first came into office and he looked these European countries in the eye and he said, your punk asses are not spending enough on defense. Your punk asses are making us carry all this weight. And now you see this conflict with Russia. And what do you see? They've closed ranks in toto. You don't think that's Trumpian? I think you better think again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can remember to try and do the damn outros rather than just my abrupt. I saw somebody in the chat the other day said, damn, he just ended. Yes. I just end the damn show. I don't really care about these outros and all that other kind of stuff, but I understand that's the way everybody else does it and it works. It makes sense to me. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, later Gators.
Badlands Media wants to welcome our new podcast audience. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, this show was originally broadcast live on Rumble. Remember that you can always go to rumble.com/Badlands Media to connect with our Badlands Media channel and watch live and interact with our community during our shows. Come join us on the Badlands Media channel on rumble.com/Badlands Media. Badlands Media wants to welcome our new podcast audience.
Oh, hell no.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media. And if you're interested in advertising with Badlands yourself, reach out to Kitty Gillespie. Her email is ads.badlandsmedia@proton.me. That's ads.badlandsmedia@proton.me.